You might have noticed over the years, I like bridges. Big, small, over water and land, metal, steel, wood. I like to be around them and photograph them. There's just something about a bridge. I especially love seeing how they're made, how they stand up over time, and how they get us from one side to the other. I've even taken you with me to a few destinations that feature bridges. For instance, last summer I showed you the 11 bridges of Wayne, Alberta, just south of Drumheller. One community, 11 bridges, very cool. We've also been to the Lethbridge Viaduct, commonly known as the High Level Bridge, constructed between 1907 and 1909. It is the largest railway structure in Canada and the largest of its type in the world, and is still regularly maintained and used over a century since its construction. And today we're off to see something special. The Confederation Bridge is a world engineering feat. It connects Prince Edward Island to the mainland, specifically New Brunswick, over the Northumberland Strait and the southern part of the Gulf of St. Lawrence. And as you get closer to it from a distance, you could still stop at several locations and see it when you're on Prince Edward Island, from the farm fields and the like. Due to its phenomenal length, the Confederation Bridge is a multi-span concrete bridge girder structure. It tested the skill and ingenuity of engineers who gave it a curvy design as a safety feature to reinforce its strength and to ensure drivers remained alert while making the crossing. Here's the material used for one lane. They used hundreds of these, and most of them were made on site or nearby by islanders. Tolls apply only when leaving Prince Edward Island. It costs $50.25 for a 2-axle automobile and $8.50 for each additional axle. Motorcycles are charged $20, while pedestrians and cyclists, they're not permitted to cross the bridge. A shuttle service is available, though. Most of the bridge is 40 meters or 131 feet above water, with a 60 meter or 197 feet navigation span for ship traffic. Yes, as you head along the bridge, it slowly starts to get higher by 20 meters. Very cool. And there you have the Confederation Bridge from the New Brunswick side. There's also a tourism office there to help you along the way. The bridge sits on 62 piers, of which the 44 main piers are 250 meters or 820 feet apart. The bridge is 11 meters wide, that's 36 feet. And as we walk along under the bridge, there are several amazing vantage points here on the New Brunswick side. At the foot of the bridge, there's a boardwalk near the ocean through coastal forests and marshes, and all of it is safe at low tide and high. Now, I was born in New Brunswick and lived in Prince Edward Island for 4 years and went to high school there, so both sides of the bridge feel like home to me. I absolutely love it all. The only thing you don't really get while you travel across the bridge is a view of the ocean, unless you're driving in a big truck or a vehicle that is higher up. Otherwise, you're looking at the barriers on the side for the whole trip. Okay, time for us to go to the highest point again. I love it. The speed limit on the bridge is 80 kilometers per hour, but that can vary with wind and weather conditions. When traveling at the speed limit, it takes about 12 minutes to cross the bridge. The ebb and flow of public support for a fixed link was indirectly tied to the varying levels of federal investment in ferry and steamship connections to the province over the years before the bridge was finally built. It finally culminated in a proposal in the mid-1980s, which resulted in the construction of the current bridge. And prior to the bridge being built, we used to wait right here. Yeah, we used to wait right here to get on the boat. The Confederation Bridge opened on May 31st, 1997. It's 12.9 kilometers or 8 miles long, and it is Canada's longest bridge and the world's longest bridge over ice-covered water. And here's where the cars used to line up. You can still see some of the paintings for the rows upon row. Yeah, we used to wait here in our cars before we got on the ferry boat to cross to the mainland before the fixed link. I love that you can still see the bridge through the parking lot in this picture. So amazing to see the bridge from up close, but you've always got to be careful of the Atlantic Ocean. They say never turn your back on the ocean. I was safely on the rocks, a distance away from the ocean in both of these pictures. And it was a little foggy on this day, but on a sunnier day, this picture is magnificent. It's still pretty good though. You can see the rise and curved nature of the bridge from the Prince Edward Island side. It's all so picturesque, So if you drive onto PEI, make sure you stop and take some pictures. If you fly onto PEI, well, there's a lot of history right there to be seen. History of bridges and a fixed link and the various plans they had to try to build a bridge after islanders decided they wanted one. And then there's all the stories of riding on the ferry boats across the strait too. So much history, all of it right here, right there. And like I said, the bridge is available to be seen from several locations when you're on Prince Edward Island, and I have been to and seen almost all of them. I miss the Confederation Bridge, and you should not miss it if you ever go to Prince Edward Island. It is absolutely one of a kind.
Traveling with Dan.